Hi everyone. I hope I meet all of you in the best of health. All right. My videos could be a little bit advanced for some people. That was one email I got from I suppose a subscriber or someone watching me, and I'm trying my best to simplify things as possible. And hence the reason why I told you that we have professional courses on cosmetic studies and also cosmetic science. You get, if you're interested in formulating cosmetics, feel free to send a WhatsApp message. I'm going to drop my WhatsApp number in the description space and also my email address. Meanwhile, I came today to speak to maybe beginner formulators or formulators that are trying their hands, or amateur formulators as well, right? Because I know a lot of amateur formulators that come to YouTube to come find solution to their numerous problems. So basically, this is like a story time once upon a time. I have a vendor where I think I've never vlogged that place before, and I don't know for what reason. Okay, the place is very rowdy, like where I go to buy some of my raw materials. By the way, if you're seeing this face for the first time, my name is Asma Zakari. I'm a Nigerian based cosmetic chemist and also a content creator here on YouTube. I am based in Port Harcourt, to be specific, and I go there to buy some raw materials. Like basically, I'll say I buy raw materials from any part of the country. I buy from the east, I buy from the west, I buy from the north, I buy from the north central. In fact, I'm full time. I buy from the west as well. So basically, my hands are everywhere, and that is why when some of my beginner formulators ask me for contact, it's really difficult to hand them over contacts because I am still trying my hands on even newer vendors. Yes. So I go buy some specific raw materials here in my city, and then I do buy preservatives from a particular vendor. But I don't know what happened, though the guy was also complaining about the dollar rates because most of these raw materials are being brought from abroad. Yeah, some from China, Korea, Australia, Japan, of course, India, like that. So he was complaining about exchange rates, that some of these things are very pricey, and when he brings them, he's not sure he's going to sell them off, blah 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 blah. Of course, that is why I told you I am still trying my hands on other vendors. I want to have so many options. I don't want to rely on one vendor so that I don't get disappointed. So as I'm talking about having other options, I decided to stretch my hand to another vendor to purchase preservative specifically. If you're an oldie on this channel, or if you have watched my DIY videos, especially for my water in oil products, right, that is hydrous formulas, there has to be use, or there has to be introduction of preservative. Now, my preservative of choice most of the time is phenoxyethanol. But in the absence of phenoxyethanol, I use Jamal Plus. Yeah, I'm open to using Jamal Plus as well. And I have a video where I spoke about preservatives, and you will get to realize why I love using phenoxyethanol. That's by the way, I'll drop it in the description area. So I had to stretch my hand to another vendor. And that is why I tell beginner formulators, or if you have attended my classes, I always start with starter badges. Starter badges of 100 grams, which is quite fair because these raw materials are very expensive. So making a big badge and it going to waste is going to be really frustrating. It's really going to be disheartening. So starter badges are very, very important as a beginner. When you try out your hands on starter badges and they work well, you understand the concept, you make your mistakes in starter badges, correct your mistake in starter badges, then you can go bigger badges. So buying a preservative from a different vendor that I have never used, what preservative it was Jamal Plus. Ironically, at least Jamal Plus is something I've used before, right? So buying it from a different vendor, I won't say I trust that vendor like that. I've bought one or two things, and I wouldn't say I got what I want, right? 100% per se, because it's very important to buy raw materials from people that know what they're doing. Because when you buy raw materials from people that just sell these things for business purposes, it can be very dicey because they don't know these things very well. I remember having a situation one time with a specific vendor. I went to purchase citric acid. Sorry, I'm digressing a little bit. I went to purchase citric acid, just basically my experiences as a cosmetic formulator based in Nigeria. And she was measuring the citric acid for me. I told her to give me, like, because here they measure it in grams as well. Okay, and even kilograms. So I wanted to buy, I think, 250 grams or so. That's like quarter kg. And so she brought out the citric acid and she was taking it out. There was something I noticed. That is why I'm always a firm believer of study your ingredients. Now, I noticed something with that citric acid. It wasn't looking citric acid, for something that you have used for a while, or I have used for a while. But she brought that out. Number one, it looked too light and it looked too white. You understand? Like, citric acid normally looks like sugar and, yeah, sugar salt ish, like that, right? So this one was looking like Omo in my eye. Honestly speaking, it wasn't looking citric acid for me. So I told her, "Ma, is this citric acid?" She said yes. And I decided to test it because obviously some of these raw materials are not harmful to be taken by mouth. Citric acid is one of them because that's a raw form of vitamin C. I took it, God have mercy. I nearly threw up. Like, it was almost like my tongue was about to get burnt. I didn't know what I took. It wasn't anything close to citric acid. And the woman was shocked. The whole thing was just embarrassing on her own part because you don't know citric acid and you sell these things. That was one part. Then there was another part again. This one was even my regular vendor. That's why you see with these vendors, it's trickish. I don't know if it is their suppliers that normally play a fast one on them, or they are the ones that get so naive and easily. I can't tell. So the whole thing is that you, as a cosmetic formulator, you have to be very observant. And here's the reason why I go as far as listing different categories or different types of raw materials for my students, for my beginner formulators. So the same thing too happened in even my regular vendor, the same citric acid situation. He gave me a citric acid that came to dissolve. This citric acid sat down for 24 hours. Citric acid on a norm is water soluble and dissolves in less than 5 minutes. But this one sat on my table for over 16 hours, didn't dissolve completely. Let's say it dissolved like by 70% and 30%. So the next thing I did was take out my pH test strip and tested that his vitamin C, and it was nothing close to vitamin C, in as much as it had a pH of 6. So owing to the fact that I've never purchased preservative from this vendor, I decided to do a batch test. So I just formulated a little amount of base cream because I bought it to purchase to formulate base cream. So I did a little bit of base cream, and lo and behold, in 3 days, using it at the manufacturer usage percentage rate. And that's why I keep telling my beginner formulators that when you get to know how the system works in Nigeria, you realize that you cannot really stick to the original manufacturer percentage usage rate, because here, I don't know what our people do. They tend to do some sort of, will I say, cocky behavior by diluting things, probably with water, in order to volumize it and get more gain. So, using the user manufacturer percentage rate and even with more, right, for Jamal Plus, with more. Guess what? In 3 days, my cream started growing mold, and I was disappointed. I was super duper disappointed, honestly speaking. And Jama Plus is a preservative that cannot withstand high temperature. So when I made that base cream, I had to wait for the pH to except for the pH, sorry, for the temperature to actually drop. And hence the reason why I love my phenoxyethanol, because phenoxyethanol can actually withstand high temperatures of about 85 degrees Celsius. But for Jamal Plus, it can't withstand such high temperatures. At least temperatures it could withstand is like from 50 degrees Celsius, right? But I even waited for it to go below that. Yeah, I even wait for it to be, I think it even went even below 37 degrees Celsius before I eventually added that preservative in it. But guess what? 3 days after, that preservative system failed. And that was when I now knew that what I got was just, will I say, scam or so? I don't know, honestly speaking. So beginner formulators, take note. You have to pay, you have to do a lot of homework, especially when you're based in a country like Nigeria, where some of these sellers, after buying from the manufacturer, so I don't know their source of purchasing, tend to mix some of these things or tend to not even know so much. So as a beginner formulator, please take notes. So basically, I'm just throwing this caution to beginner formulators. You have to take notes so that you don't waste your money, you don't waste your material. So when you buy something that you're not sure of, make small batches first. Stick to that your sample batch that I always push upon. It means a whole lot for you not to incur too much losses. I hope this video resonates with whoever it would resonate with, because I know I have my audience here, and I am so appreciative of new audience that keep joining this family. Thank you so much, and hope to see you in another video soon. Bye.